Okay. Thank you guys for joining me today. This is really exciting. So, I have learned about this purification process fairly recently, but it's promoted by a company that I really admire because they stand for a lot of things that just resonate with my clinical approach. So, first and foremost, I have to say this is not medical advice. Anything that you hear or learn on this little brief webinar is just for educational purposes. Now, that being said, I see Allie smiling. The disclaimer that we all have to make when we put anything online, right? Okay, that being said, I think we all need to do something of this nature. The nice thing about this program is it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be expensive, and you don't have to do a lot of supplements. Now, there are all of those options, and I'll talk about those as we go. But the biggest thing is just figuring out how to feel better, and that's really just working on lifestyle choices from what we put in our mouths to the way that we coordinate our day. So, I'm going to go through some of these lifestyle things first, and then I'll talk about the purification process and the different levels of which you can participate. And by being here, I'm going to challenge each of you that logged in today, and then anyone who finds this on my YouTube channel later to participate in some aspect. It does not need to be the full, like every supplement, but participate in some way. Even if you just do one or two habit changes, you're still going to get benefit from it. So, lifestyle stuff, things that we can all do better. And some of it you may already be doing, some of it you may just need to incorporate into your daily routine, not to make it, again, not to make it more complicated. These are easy conceptual things. So, my kids keep waving from the camera in the other room. Okay, so from the minute you wake up, we don't need to be under fluorescent lights like I am right now to get better lighting for this webinar. One of the most important things that we can do is just let natural light hit our eyes first thing in the morning. I think a lot of us, especially those of us that are very like data driven or very type A people that are working, we tend to go to our phones. It's just a habit for a lot of us in general to get on social media early. But if we can get up, don't look at your phone, keep the lights as natural as possible, which is hard if you get up before the sun comes up, but go outside for about 10 minutes. If you have longer, great. Not all of us have longer in the morning. A lot of us have families, a lot of us have jobs, but getting out early morning, so in the sunrise-ish hours, it doesn't need to be right at sunrise. It can be within 2 hours of sunrise. And then again in the evening around sunset or within like that kind of dusk time frame, there's a lot of natural red light and infrared light in the air. So we talk about like the light spectrum throughout the day. We can't perceive what light is being emitted, but our bodies can, our brain can. And that signal through our eyes actually is what sets our body clock. So I think we are all familiar with the term circadian rhythm, and we all think about it as melatonin production. We need that to be regulated so we can sleep better. Great. That is only one very small piece of the puzzle. So that circadian rhythm also resets the body clock for everything that goes on in our body. Every hormonal metabolic process that goes on in our body has to follow that circadian rhythm or that biologic clock. When we're under unnatural light all day, every day, especially when it hits our eyes first thing in the morning, we have cortisol spikes. That's stress. Stress is not good, but it keeps the stress hormones fluctuating all day. But it also confuses all the other hormonal processes. This is really detrimental for us for a lot of reasons. When we're in that fight or flight stress driven mode all day, it's hard for us to do much of anything. But I think we feel it the most by becoming really, really tired, getting brain fog. And for a lot of us that are trying to lose weight, it makes it really, really hard. Stress hormones are not good for weight loss, right? So that's going to make us pack pounds on. It's going to keep us adding to our weight, even if we're trying to do other measures to lose weight. So again, I start with lifestyle stuff because these are really easy things to do to just reset that process. If you can get out in the middle of the day, so again, 10 minutes is all you need. If you have longer, great. Get out and get that natural UV light. That's when the UV is most prominent. I think we're taught in our society to be afraid of UV light. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Too much of anything healthy is a bad thing. But that UV light will give that signal like, okay, it is midday. And then we get that natural red light, infrared light at the end of the day to reset our clock. Red light and infrared light are also really healing. So from mental health, gut health, physical health, everything, our bodies respond really well to that red light in the morning and the evening. Okay, so that's one thing. Easy, easy peasy. Get outside a couple times a day. Even if it's cold, even if it's cloudy, your brain will still perceive those light waves. If you can, while you're outside, stick your feet in the dirt. If it's too cold to stick your feet in the dirt, just make contact with nature in some way. This is called grounding or earthing. You're going to absorb that negative charge from the earth and dispel all the positive charge that we don't need. We get a lot of excess energy from computers and phones and all the other things that we're exposed to in our environment. If you can exchange that for the negative charge from the earth, you are going to feel better, you're going to have more energy, and you're going to be able to heal better. So, again, really easy. If you're going to add the 10 minutes outside, may as well touch something natural while you're doing it and get that additional benefit. All right. And then the last thing, so I'm a sports medicine doc. I would be remiss to talk about anything without talking about exercise. I hesitate to use the word exercise because that can be really polarizing for a lot of people. So I think everyone that logged onto this call loves to exercise. That is not the case for everyone. A lot of people are really turned off and get intimidated even by exercise. So I want to talk more in terms of movement. Movement does not need to look like doing an Ironman, taking your intern on a bike ride and almost getting hit by lightning, like one of the gals on this call may have experienced way back when I met her in I don't even know what year that was, a long time ago. But it does need to look like moving your body on a regular basis. So meeting your body where it is, walking, jogging, riding a bike, anything that resonates with your body. Things that are really good that I think we dismiss the benefit of are our primal movements. So those are movements that really challenge our body into postural stability. So if you guys haven't done any of these, Bam Lionheart is a really good example that you can just find on YouTube. Pat Daly is another one, Daly, another good source on YouTube that do more of these natural primal movement style exercise patterns. They're very low impact. He can modify them if he gets, or if either of them get into a position that your body doesn't like. But really good for joint stability, really good for gut health because we're opening up our gut, we're getting into a lot of squats and that kind of thing. So that leads us to the other side of this where nutrition is also foundational for everything we do. We are seeing more and more literature coming out. It's not just social media trends on how important our gut health is for our overall health. And again, it's mental health, it's physical health. It makes a difference for everything that we do. So the rest of this, I'm going to talk about nutrition. It's so foundational. So here's where doing a 21-day reset and hopefully doing it with friends, which is why I'm going to launch. I was originally going to do a group me. I had some feedback saying I don't want an additional platform. I log into too many things already. So I'm going to start a Facebook group and you guys will all get that link. You can join if you would like some community in this process. If you don't, that's okay too. But again, I encourage you guys to adopt this to any degree that you want. Okay. So purification process, 21-day reset. So I'm going to share my screen and just go through a couple things of the whys. All right. Um, oh, here we go. Sorry. Okay, it's not going to let me share my screen. Okay, so that's okay. We don't need the visuals. I can just talk through the couple things that I was going to tell you. Um, in our environment, we are exposed to so many different toxins. So this is a big social media buzz, right? Like everything is toxic. We need to get rid of everything. That's true to a large extent, but here's another thing to think about. We are so energetic, not to get like people accuse me of kind of being woo-woo sometimes, not to get woo-woo on this, but our bodies are energetic. And the more fear that we have of the toxins can actually be worse than the toxins themselves. So my comments here are not meant to be fear mongering. This is just informational, right? So in America, like in our culture, we have over 80,000 toxins that are used on a regular basis, whether we're talking about pesticides that are sprayed onto our foods, chemicals that are added to our beauty products, our shampoos or soaps, things that are just emitted into the air. We cannot avoid toxins. Well, that being said, let's not be afraid of the toxins. Let's just find ways to help our body clear them, right? So if you're not able to clear well, doing this purification process is going to be really hard. So if you're going to do this, which you all should, make sure that you're able to have regular bowel movements. I know I'm a doctor, I talk about all sorts of gross things, but you need to be able to have regular bowel movements. If that's not happening, I have a couple suggestions for you. You can hit me offline. Again, it's all informational, but there's a couple of things that you can do that are really easy ways to fix that. Um, okay, so as long as you're able to clear the toxins, let's talk about how to help our body facilitate that. The purification process by standard process really focuses on whole food, real food nutrition. So there is a packet that if you're wanting the whole kit, you're going to get supplements and the nutritional guide. The nutritional guide comes with a shopping list, a pantry list, and a meal plan. Again, these are all optional. They're to give you ideas of how to choose things that are going to fuel your body with really high, dense quality nutrition and avoid the things that are going to be inflammatory and make you feel really sluggish and not well. So, as an example, some of the things to avoid during this process: excessive caffeine. If you can cut out caffeine, great. Most of us can't. Most of us drink too much. And if we just stopped our normal caffeine intake, we would have a rip-roaring headache through most of the day. That's not what this is about. This is about meeting your body where it is. So if you're one that has a couple cups of coffee or something during the day, maybe that's cutting back to a mug or two a day. So again, meeting yourself where you are and making those choices that are going to just make yourself feel a little bit better. Think about sourcing too. So if you're just going to the store and buying coffee or going to Starbucks and getting coffee on the way to work, there are a lot of toxins that can be found in coffee. Just like any other produce, the coffee beans, if they're not grown organically, potentially carry a lot of toxins from pesticides and other things that they're processed with. So fair trade organic coffee is going to be a better choice. It's also typically lower in mold counts. So again, something we don't think about is mold and coffee and teas can be really high in mold. So making sure that you're getting a good source, getting it as fresh as possible, getting the whole beans and grinding them down can be helpful if you're going to continue coffee. Eliminating things like alcohol, which is really hard on the liver, really important through this process too. That being said, just like everything else, if you're one that has a couple drinks a day, don't stop cold turkey. That's not going to be helpful for your body, but cutting back. Maybe instead of having two beers, you have a glass of red wine that's a little bit more anti-inflammatory, but not cutting back cold turkey. Meet yourself where you are. Anything that you eat during these 21 days, as much as you are able to, source organic. We talk about, and you'll see this on social media, there's a huge hype about glyphosate. So that's the chemical that or one of many chemicals that's sprayed onto our produce. Glyphosates are really bad for the body. They're really hard on the body and they cause a lot of inflammation. It's not the only thing that is found on non-organic produce. And full disclosure, our organic produce is not perfect either. So a couple problems with our produce in America. There's potential for overspray from other farms that are not organic, but also our soil in America is typically really depleted of its actual nutrients. So again, just giving a little plug for local farmers, support local businesses. If you have a local organic farm, that's a great way to get food that is exposed to the same stressors that you are, so your body can actually process that food better. But the other thing that you want to look for is regenerative farming, where they're rotating the crops to maintain optimal nutritional value in the soil. If they're not doing that, soil is probably really depleted. So that's where like the produce that we get at the grocery store, probably very deplete of nutrients. But again, we need to do as best as we can. If that's all you have access to, that's awesome. That's better than nothing, right? So do the best you can. As we look at these nutritional choices, be pairing foods that you know your body does better with. So you'll see if you look at the purification book, and I can send this to you guys, one of the things that it talks about eliminating is eggs. Not everybody needs to eliminate eggs. If you know that you have high quality eggs, so again, sourcing is really important for food in general. If you have high quality eggs that are from an organic free range farm, especially if it's a local farm, those are going to be rich in omega-3s. If you have store-bought eggs that are from a farm that doesn't, or a place that does not take care of their chickens, that stress on the chicken actually makes them much higher in omega-6s. And if that ratio is off, your omega-6 to omega-3 balance, the omegas are going to be inflammatory instead of anti-inflammatory. We don't want that for our bodies. Some people do better with eggs. Some people find that they have a lot of digestive problems if they eat eggs. So again, meet yourself where you are. I like starting my day off with protein. I just feel better. So I typically have an egg or two in the morning. Meet yourself where you are, okay? So healthy habits that you can make during this process. Follow the nutrition guide as a guide. You don't need to follow it to a T. But if you want that nutrition guide, again, just let me know. Send me an email and I'll put my email up at the end of this and we can get you that information. The other things that are optional to help your body facilitate the detox of all of the toxins and other things and help kickstart your metabolism, again, for weight loss, but also for clarity, for increased energy, and all of those other benefits that clearing toxins can bring to people. There are supplements that can be helpful along the way. So Standard Process has a whole purification kit. You can do the whole shebang, or you can just pick and choose different parts of it. So I'll tell you how those supplements can be used as we go through the next couple things. For a lot of people, mornings are really hard to get good nutrients. And so there is a shake. It's called SP Complete. That's the recommendation for starting your day off. If you're able to get in a good, healthy breakfast before work, you may not need the shake. The shake, again, it's optional. It provides about 10 grams of protein and a lot of really dense nutrients. The thing that I like about Standard Process, I'm going to backtrack for just a second because I forgot to mention this. I'm a sports medicine doc. My patients, my athletes, they tend to take a lot of supplements and I get a lot of questions on, is this brand okay? What's in this? Should I be taking this? I want to take, name the supplement. I want to take X, Y, and Z things. Can you recommend a brand? It's really, really hard because these are not regulated. We don't know what's in most of the supplements on the market. There are things like third-party certification, third-party verification that can vet these different companies, but it's still a really tricky industry. I like Standard Process for two reasons. One, it's about 900 acres of regenerative organic farming, and over 60% of the ingredients in their supplements are straight from their farm. It's regenerative farming, so they're rotating the crops, they're picking it at its peak nutritional value and processing those ingredients within 24 to 48 hours. Really, really high quality, dense nutrition. If there is other components that aren't produced on the farm, typically they're really quick to disclose that. Like some of their supplements will have algae in them. They don't have water, so they disclose where they get the algae from. Really, really clean. The other thing that I like about them is they're huge on this should be nutritional support, not a nutritional supplement that you're taking every day. So, as an example, they've got a really high quality tuna omega, and they'll be the first ones to tell you, yeah, it's great to take on days where you're not getting fish or you're not getting your omegas in. But if you're eating eggs for breakfast and salmon for dinner, you don't need an omega supplement. Like, skip it that day. So, this is not about getting you on supplements that you need to be on long term. The purification process, these supplements are only to be used during the 21 days. And depending on how you use them, you may not even need them for the whole 21 days. So, again, that's the cool part about the way that they approach the supplement process. Okay, so there's the SP Complete Shake. That's the most expensive part too. So if finances are of concern and you want to try some of the stuff to help your body detox, that one is the first one that you can say, maybe next time. I don't know if I want to do that right now, but it's great to start the day with. Another thing that they have in their purification process is fiber. We all probably need more fiber in our diet. So it's recommended that we get about 25 to 30 grams of fiber in our diet. Most of us don't even come close to that with the nutrition that we take in. So we pretty much all probably need to be doing more fiber in our diet. If you're cleansing, you want to do increased fiber. That being said, fiber without water, you're going to create cement. So you need to make sure you stay really, really well hydrated, regardless of whether you're taking the fiber supplement or just increasing fiber by way of whole food nutrition. So having a good water source, make sure you're filtering your water. We don't want to be adding toxins in through tap water. Even if you have well water, a lot of well water leaches stuff from the soil. So you should be filtering with a good carbon filter for your water. Okay, fiber supplements. If you want to add those come in two different forms. You can take capsules, or there's a whole fiber that you can put into your protein powder or your SP Complete in the morning. So just depending on how you want to take that in, really good high quality fiber supplement. Now, the two other things that are probably the most bang for the buck are the SP Cleanse, which is a whole herbal compilation of ingredients that are going to support your liver and your kidneys primarily, but also your bowel to help your body detox. The other thing that is going to, again, be the most bang for your buck if you're trying to piecemeal and try to figure out how to do this from not spending a lot of money standpoint is the SP Green Food. Really, really dense micronutrients that you can get in to help your body absorb the other things that you're doing. So how do you take these? If you look at the purification guide, they have the first week or so, you're going to be taking a lot of pills. So they really hit the SP cleanse heavy for the first week, help your body completely detox. So they're talking about 7 pills a day, 3 times a day. You take the entire bottle over the first week. That's not feasible for a lot of us. A lot of us are busy, a lot of us work. So, and 7 pills is just a lot. It's really hard to do that 3 times a day. So, one alternative to doing that, oh, and then they start the SP green food after the first week. So, an alternative to doing that I think works better for most people is using the SP cleanse and the green food and doing them for the entire 21 days. So, you'll take SP cleanse in the morning, 7 of the capsules, and then you'll take the SP green food in the evening. So that breaks it up. You're only taking things twice a day. It's not nearly as many capsules during the day. And then you do your shake plus the fiber, whichever way you want to do the fiber. So again, benefits of that is just helping support your body through the detox process. If you guys are interested in the supplements, please shoot me either an email or you guys can shoot me a text or call me on my work phone number. I'll post that in the chat, but the phone number is 903-284-5984. And definitely email me if you want the nutrition, the meal plans and all of that. So, and then I'll send you pricing for each level. But again, you don't need all the fancy stuff to get benefit from this program. You need to just be willing to engage in cutting out things that are going to be inflammatory for your body, things that are going to be just extra stressors, and then incorporating some things that will help your body just be able to utilize what you're already doing, like going outside, getting free red light therapy, and moving your body on a daily basis. Um, After this webinar, I think I have all of your email addresses. I will send you guys just a quick guide on how to log into the group if you want to be part of the group. And then if you want the pricing on some of the supplements, I can send those. And then you can let me know how to piecemeal. So for those of you who are watching today, if you want to do the supplements, the purification kit, I'm doing a 10% off if you do it today. If you join with a friend and there's 2 of you joining at the same time, I'll do a 15% off the purification kit. So, and if you want to piecemeal the supplements together, we'll do the discounts on those as well. So supplements you can order them off the website directly, or you can order them through me if you don't want to have to deal with shipping costs. They typically take about 4 or 5 days to get in, sometimes 2 or 3, just depending on mail. So be mindful of that. We're going to start, if you want to do it with the group, we're going to start on January 11th, and then it will run through January 31st. So that will get you post Super Bowl, so you can still enjoy that. Reset in January, and then hopefully have the rest of the year to feel like you're off to a good start, making good choices, and then going from there. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have questions, you can send them through the direct messaging on Instagram or Facebook. My email is trailheadmed@gmail.com. Lots of ways to send those over to me, but if you guys want to participate, I would love to have you in my group. And again, just make good choices. That's the first step. It's free, it's easy, and you can do it with your entire family, which we're doing. Have a wonderful day.